couldn't miss the opportunity to come and just say a few words of support. And what I really wanted to do actually is just pay tribute to some of the people in this room, to the councillors, to the staff at the Coalfields Regeneration Trust, to the members of the Industrial Communities Alliance, to all of you in this room who haven't just fought the case and the cause of our coalfield communities over many, many decades, but most importantly, you've kept the flame of hope alive for us in some very difficult times. I represent Wigan, which has suffered badly. Last time the Tories were in power. When we lost the mines, we didn't just lose the mines, we lost the whole local economy on which it was based. And the social fabric collapsed, and it was only because the community stepped forward that we were able to get through those difficult times. When I was elected in 2010, we had austerity and cuts that hit us harder than any part of the country, because part of the strategy of the last Labour government was to use public services to invest in our towns, creating organisations like Keep Britain Tidy, which was based in Wigan, deliberately in order to boost employment and create that virtuous circle of money back in working people's pockets, going straight back out into local shops and businesses and helping to sustain our local economy. And those cuts that weren't just harsh and deep, but front-loaded to our public services, they pulled the rug out from under us. And I remember an elderly couple coming to see me. He'd lost his job in the mines the last time the Tories were in power, and saying to me in 2010, it was bad then, but I think this is worse. And I wanted to thank you all in particular, because you fought for our coalfields, but you've also delivered for us. The Coalfields Regeneration Trust was one of the best legacies of the last Labour government, and continues to be one of those legacies still, because you invested when others wouldn't, and where Whitehall saw only problems, you saw potential, and you stepped in and supported us. You know, Wigan is not unlike Alex's constituency or many others, many of your communities too. We had a lot of people who left the mines with a payout, and they were creative, innovative, determined people, but they needed a route to be able to turn that, to spin gold out of thread, and to turn that small sum into something that would create lasting change in our communities. And that's when the Coalfields Regeneration Trust really stepped up. And you helped us to build investment centres so that we had office space, so we had capacity to be able to do it. You helped to provide the support and the mentoring that meant that people could navigate through those first few difficult years. As a consequence, 60% of my constituents now work in small and medium-sized businesses, many of them which owe their existence and their survival to the work of the Coalfields Regeneration Trust. But it isn't just about the economy, although the economy matters. You will all know that kids in our coalfields, they get fewer qualifications, they live shorter, less healthy lives. You only have to go 2 miles apart in my constituency, mile down the road one way from my house, mile down the road the other, and you will find a 10-year gap in life expectancy. Why should we accept that in 2023? And thanks to the Coalfields Regeneration Trust, who came to my town and invested in the schools, in the buildings, in the opportunities, we don't have to accept it, and we're showing that there is a completely different way. One of the things that they did a few years ago was to rebuild an deserted industrial site opposite one of our biggest secondary schools in one of the most deprived parts of my constituency. And when I went to see it with them, they said it wasn't just about making sure that we built these units and we created these jobs. It was about making sure that those kids, some of the poorest kids in the country, with some of the lowest educational qualifications, when they walk out of their school, what they see is what is possible. And I was really moved by that. In fact, it gives me chills to think about it still now, because at the heart of the work that you do is a recognition that we have something to contribute. And for far too long, the plan for most of our coalfields from our government has just been characterised by one word, redistribution, and there hasn't been a lot of it. But we've got a contribution to make. We are the people that built this country's wealth and influence, and within living memory, we powered the world. And with the right belief and the right energy and commitment and focus, we could do it again. And just imagine what these guys could do with a government, a Labour government, that back them, rather than fighting up against the system all the time. What if they could feel the whole system pulling in behind them, so that we could create those game-changing jobs in clean energy and other new technologies, so that young people in places like Wigan and Barnsley could power us through the next generation, just like their parents and grandparents powered us through the last. That's the prize. That's what's on offer. That's why we're all here, and why we're going to go out and fight every single day between now and the next general election to get a Labour government elected. Because at the core of this is our belief, which is also the Coalfields Regeneration Trust's belief, that we matter, that people matter. And I wanted to say thank you to you for keeping that flame of hope alive over these dark, difficult, divisive years. Because you believed in us, and we believe in you. And Labour has got to be the light on the hill for people in times of darkness, and for many people these are very dark times indeed. And my commitment to you is, here at home and overseas, if we're lucky enough to be entrusted with the trust of the people to govern once again next year, we will light up the country and the world once more. Thank you very much.